1.5 months before I finally went back to Calabarzon, where I am presently serving as the regional director. But just the same, Abra will always be my home in terms of my my life as an educator. No, so during our time, during my time when I entered Abra High School, I thought ito yung mga una kong tinurong subjects. Baka magulat kayo. I have a degree in BS Chemistry, but when I came to Abra High School, these are the subjects that I first taught. PEM, that is the old mapping, PE, Health, and Music, including values education. So those were the subjects. I did not teach chemistry or science or biology or anything connected to my educational preparation. But those were the only available subjects for me at that time. And if you are really dedicated to the profession of teaching, you will actually accept any subject to teach. And it is your responsibility to learn this subject so that you can impart knowledge about these subjects to your learners. Earlier, in the opening remarks, Bernard used the metaphor of a tree that has grown so big, that has borne fruits and flowers. I would like to build on that metaphor that Bernard used. Indeed, the Abra High School is a tree, and it is a very big tree for that matter. But I would like to expand that a bit by giving a name to that tree. And the name I would want to give that tree is actually considered as the biggest living thing on earth. Science teacher, what is that? What tree is considered as the biggest living thing on earth? Science majors, where are you? Percy, chemistry, biology, not the sequoia tree.
Century
It
tree.
is the California redwood. The California redwood. Why is it considered as the biggest tree? Okay, it goes as high as 29 to 40 feet. Pero ang kanyang roots only goes as deep as 10 feet. But what it lacks in depth, nakukuha niya sa breadth. Because California redwood trees are not planted singly, but they should be planted together. Because the roots grow radially until they integrate themselves with the roots of the nearby California redwood trees. So you will see California redwood trees like 10 standing, but they are considered as one because they are connected at the roots. So even if a California redwood tree goes down, branches will spring out of its trunk and becomes another tree. So it is a network of large trees that are connected to the roots. I hope that if you consider Abra High School as a big tree, you consider yourselves as well as the California redwoods. Because while you may be standing individually, deep down inside, you are all together and you are all strong because you are hand in hand in your journey. So, I wish that all teachers, no matter your generation, should be like the California redwood. You can branch out, you can bloom, you can bear flowers, you can bear fruits. But don't forget that you are connected to each other down to the insides of your core. Because once that breaks down, the school will come down with you. That has been the culture of Abra High School back then. And I would want to see that culture brought back to the present Abra High School. Perhaps one of the greatest challenges now for you here in Abra High School is the generation gap. Baby boomers. Your superiors are mostly baby boomers, and you are mostly millennials. So the challenge is, how do I harmonize myself with somebody who is 20 or 30 years older than I am? It always comes down to knowing where each one is coming from, or understanding where each one is coming from. During these past 2 years, we did not want to see people to follow our orders. We do not want our superiors telling us what to do. But what we needed was empathy. Empathy. We need to understand, or we need to let our superiors understand that we also have our personal needs. There is this one survey conducted among teachers, and there was only one question asked of the teachers. The question was, what would you want to say to your superior? And there were many responses to that. But let me just highlight a few of the responses of the teachers. This was conducted during the pandemic. The teachers said, we have a family. We are working hard. We care for our teachers. We have personal problems. We are trying our best. We are willing to learn. We are committed. So you see, as superiors to subordinates, we must understand that our teachers also have lives of their own. They also have family problems to solve. They are not, I repeat, they are not immune to the coronavirus. Much like we are from our higher superiors, we would also want to say same things to them. We need your care. We have a family, and we also have problems of our own. Perhaps if we only practice empathy towards others, then that would lead to a better understanding of the situation of everyone, so that we can start to find ways by which we can still work together, and we can still find ways by which we can serve the public the best way we can. So, in my presentation, I do not know if it is visible to you, but something that has always reminded me of Abra High School, because all the sections in Abra High School are named after birds. So I found this species of birds, which I know you have seen, you are familiar because it is one of the sections. I believe this is also the section that was handled by Persinia in third year when she was advisor, right? Yeah, I can still remember that. So this is the starling. And this is of course taken from the article of David Benjamin on about starlings. And I titled this presentation, The Startling Mesmerizing Murmuration. And I would like to, of course, connect that with the theme that now more than ever, the flock is paying attention like never before. The pandemic has brought us into a situation where we try to find the right kind of leadership and the right kind of leader to follow. We were all caught unawares by this coronavirus, and we seem not to know what to do. But we were all caught by surprise. We were panicking, and we forgot that as teachers, we were trained to overcome these challenges. Now, I would like to show you this video of the murmuration of starlings. So kung hindi visible dyan, perhaps on this television set, you will see the video of the murmuration of the starlings. Sound? This is the dance of the starlings. Puro ibon lang yan. So this is a flock of starlings, no? So habang pinanonood nyo yan, siguro dapat malaman nyo din kung anong hawak mong subject, name ng advisory class. You study the trivial things about the names of the birds of your sections. And then find meaning into these trivial facts or trivial things about the birds.
Buru-buru ka na kayo mo ni Sir. Buru-buru ka na kayo mo ito.
So what you're seeing is really 1,000 starlings that are moving in unison, and it appears like it's just a single organism. Synchronized movements, making figures and images in the sky. And this is one of the most amazing natural phenomena that can be found. And there are actually places around the world that feature the murmuration of starlings as tourist attractions. Okay na, I think I made my point here. So that is the murmuration. That's actually known as the murmuration of starlings. There are only 3 basic rules for the starlings. How they are able to do that in unison, in synchronicity. Nearby birds, rule number 1, that each or individual starlings follow. Mga makita. Nearby bird would move apart. Nearby bird would move apart. We go to the next slide. The arrow will... Yan. There are 3 basic rules for the starling. Nearby birds would move apart. Second rule, birds would align their direction and speed. And number 3, more distant birds would go closer to each other. That is why they are able to do such an image up in the sky. because they follow these three basic rules. In the current pandemic, or in the past 2 years already, we have always copied what the next person would be doing. Like now, nung nga nakamas di kaabay mo, nakamas hana lang tamat nagmasa. Nung nakamas di kaabay mo, ay nagmasa suna, agmasak na. Ay nag-spray ka alcohol, ag-spray na. So we always have been very conscious of what the next person to us is doing, and we seem to be copying what that person is doing. So you see, the lesson from the starling, that each bird copies the motion of 6 or 7 birds around it with extreme rapidity. So if I were a starling, I would be able to notice the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the 7th starling beside me. And I will copy what that starling is actually doing at a very high speed. That is why hindi kami nagkakabungguan and we seem to be moving together. And that should be what is expected of us in the current situations. We should be like starlings, and we should be sensible. We should be mindful of the things that are happening around us. And when starlings do that, they move up to 90 miles per hour speed. So you can just imagine how they are able to do that. This natural capacity of shared purpose, communication, and movement among the starlings embodies what human beings might be capable of if only we work together. We cannot be individually working for ourselves and expect everyone to be working with us and expect the school to reach excellence if we work individually. So we must learn from the murmuration of the starlings. One lesson is distributed leadership. Siguro nung first year of the pandemic, we were looking at our school heads, we were looking at our department heads, and waiting for them to tell us what to do. But now that we have been over it for a year, leadership must then be distributed. Because no single person can know everything for everybody. You cannot centrally know everything that is going on. So we need information coming from every individual teacher in the school. If I were the Filipino department head, at this time, I cannot know what's going on around everything that's going on around. I need to ask my teachers what's going on in your place. What's going on with your class? How are you doing with your modules? It has to be leadership that is distributed. Next one, inclusiveness. Everyone in the organization needs to be on full alert. Waiting game, hindi na yan pwede. Huwag ka na, urayan kayo, ano niya, tibaga ni head kayo. Urayan kayo, ano niya, tibaga ni principal kayo. Urayan kayo, ano niya, tiko natin division. Urayan kayo, ano niya, tiko natin central office. No. Inclusiveness means you all need to be in full alert. You know what's going on, and you were trained to adapt to whatever is going on around. And finally, the starlings have amazing communication with each other. Open your communication channels. Gone are the days where somebody from the English department, when a parent comes and asks, Ma'am, nyati, Aramitin ka di aralin panlipunan. Sungbat ni teacher, ang katamagan di aralin tang kumot nga mo. English ako. If you are in one school, you should be aware of everything, practically everything that happens in all the departments in your school. Because the worst answer would always be, in kadamagan kanya, kata hanak mo nga ijay na department. So open your channels of communication, be transparent, and be trustworthy. As I have said earlier, how can your heads trust the teachers if you are not trustworthy as a teacher? If you want your superiors to trust that you are doing your job, even if you are working from home, then you have to show your superior that you can be trusted. While you want your superiors to believe that you are doing your job at home, you have to show them that you are actually doing your job at home. Kung last year, command and control, diba? Ganito ang gawin natin. Ganito ang gawin nyo. You have to do this. That was last year. We have overcome last year. We already know what's going to happen this year and the next school year.